Hello, everybody. It's the coach. This is Madden 20 on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as they take on Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Godden alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come off a disappointment last time out that put an end to their modest 3-game win streak. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This is taken at his 4. Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Carson Wentz in his 4th season now out of North Dakota State, ready to bring out this Eagles offense. And he's had to sit and watch Nick Foles under center during Philly's last 2 playoff runs. So health will be a key for Wentz in 2019, no doubt. Wentz now on first down. And he'll hit Jeffrey complete. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9.
Face mask. Defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well-organized, well-coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Vikings under 6-year head coach Mike Zimmer. They'll be led out by the 8-year NFL veteran, quarterback Kirk Cousins.
And I'll bet he's talking to his guys about resisting the temptation to try and turn this into an up-and-down game, almost like basketball, where both teams press, and one team gets an advantage, the other team's trying to run with them, and they're just not equipped for it. Doesn't matter whether you're equipped or not. Just settle in, get calm before you go for the big strikes.
Cousins on first down. And that'll wind up incomplete. Trying to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep, and that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Play action now. Cousins. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. It was the veteran safety, Malcolm Jenkins, who got a hand in there to disrupt it.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
With it is Jackson. Excellent work on the run back there, 33 yards. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Now a two-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards there and an Eagle first down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Running with Howard. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And I think he's a guy, if they had let him walk, no one was going to be shouting from the top of a mountain, but he's a good guy. He's a good locker room guy, too.
Good locker room and a good player. I mean, he's a valuable starter for them. And if you just want to start over and maybe bring in someone new, the learning curve might be a little bit big. So it's a good job by getting him taken care of, and now they can move forward.
It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal.
Here we go. Outside, solid. Waiting. Man.
Now they'll throw it. Wentz. The quick slant caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey with his second touchdown in this opening quarter. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. So they've had 2 drives, and he's had the 2 receiving touchdowns.
And how about a game plan where you decide to force feed or feature someone, and it works? First 2 drives, as you noted, end up in touchdown passes. I think they're going to keep going to them until a defense makes any kind of an adjustment.
That'll be taken in the end zone. Well, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Dalvin Cook, 3rd year back from Florida State. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Cousins gives way to Cook. And a lot of talent on this Eagle defense, and you've seen it on these last 2 plays, both losses. It'll be a loss of 1, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Off the play fake, Cousins. Open man is Taylor. He's got it. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. First down, here's the run with Cook. And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 17 carries, 58 yards.
I was so glad you asked for a couple of offensive linemen to talk to before the game because they told us that in last week's contest, everything was clicking. Didn't matter whether they were doing gap scheme, zone scheme, power, whatever it was working. And they expect more of the same in this game, although they're prepared for some adjustments by the defense they expect to see.
Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Draw play, Cousins to Cook. And they'll stop him right on the midfield stripe. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down. Here's Matt Weil now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And now a low liner. I think he mishit it. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in possession as they'll start with a 1st and 10 at their own 20. Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Here's a throw, complete right side to start things out. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. It's a gain of 13 and a 1st down for Philadelphia. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Throwing now is Wentz. It's brought in by Jeffrey. And now running right through him. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. He's got the hook up once again to Jeffrey. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last 2 plays. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. And he will take this one in for an Eagle touchdown. Jordan Howard hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Eagles able to push further out in front.
And while no one on the offensive line will get the 6 points next to their name, they should be credited with this one. Tremendous blocking to get the runner into the end zone.
Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 21-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points, but you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get... And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way down to the 29. A big play there. Cousins to Thielen. 46 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now Cousins. And his throw is going to be incomplete. He was looking for Adam Thielen there, but it's going to be 2nd down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Now Cousins. He finds Taylor, complete. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 12-yard line. First red zone chance now for the Vikings. It's 1st and 10 from the 12. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete. The intended receiver was Laquan Treadwell, and it's 3rd down. Cousins to throw it. And that is incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
Dan Bailey on for the field goal, a 31-yard attempt.
Bailey's kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So 3 drives now for this offense, and that field goal gives them their first 3 points.
So if you're an offensive coordinator and you're averaging a point a drive, you're in the wrong line of work, aren't you? You got to find a way to unlock the key to these defenses and put some big points on the board.
And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. The ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Alshon Jeffrey on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Doug Peterson says, let's go for 2 here. Wentz going to look to throw. And he's got it. So the try for 2 successful. And that bumps their lead up even further. And the formula there on the 2-point try to go 5 wide. Not even the option to hand the ball off. They got it.
They tried to create space, and there isn't a whole lot of it there. For the defense, what you're trying to do is make sure that if they're going to catch the ball, make them catch it behind you because they run out of space with the back line. But in this case, the offense figured it out.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3-point seeding.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
It's caught by Treadwell. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, it's Cousins. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The Eagles in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. That's good for 28 yards.
Press coverage on the outside, and for defenders, that's the ultimate risk-reward. If you take the risk.
Timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks. A few teams starting to rise to the top as it's time to take you around the NFL here in Week 6. We'll begin with a couple of teams that have met twice in Super Bowls going back to the 70s and 80s. Washington on the road to take on Miami. And as they approach halftime, it's the Redskins who have the lead in that one. Alex Smith, a touchdown pass. From there, we fly north to Cleveland to check on the Browns at home at First Energy Stadium. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. The Browns looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. Lastly, we head to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough to check on the Patriots. And they were losers in that one to the visiting New York Giants. Sterling Shepard, well over 100-yard receiving with 3 touchdown catches. In our game, it's been Carson Wentz with a strong first half. His 3 touchdown passes have his guys out in front as we hand things back over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never wanted to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is a real, I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. Third and short yardage, Cousins. And this is Cook with the grab. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there, first down Vikings. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
They get 14 there. First down, Vikings. On first down, it's Cook. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
Loss of 2 brings up second and 12 at the 41-yard line.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Nigel Bradham brings him down. On third down, Cousins. He gets this into the hands of Taylor. That one good for 7 as this long drive continues and the chains move again. Cousins now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's first and 10. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. Give him a couple on the carry there, second and 8.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a third down. Cousins from the gun on third. He'll find Tanner. That's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. Cousins going to come up on a first and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. A first run for the backup, Abdullah. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's second and 11. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And he is out of bounds, looks like right at the 15. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And Bailey able to knock it through. And that'll put us within 3 scores as it becomes now a 23-point game. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
All right, time for us now to discuss Alshon Jeffrey. And he is over 200 yards. We thought this matchup might be good for him. It's been very good for him.
It's been great, hasn't it? And what's tough for any defense is trying to match up with a receiver nowadays. But these receivers all have all the answers. They'll line up tight, they'll line up wide, they'll be in the slot, they'll go in motion. And today, we're getting the full Monty from him.
And the full montage as well. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey with touchdown number 20 on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they had a long drive last time, but they had to settle for a field goal. And I'm sure that's how it felt to them, settling. They probably should have gotten in the end zone.
Yeah, not out and out joy, right? Because that's what you get when you put the ball in the end zone. But there are benefits to that type of a long drive. Your defense gets a chance to take a break, adjust a little bit, maybe get themselves ready to get back out on the field and play a little bit better. So they'll take the benefit even though they wanted the 6 points.
And maybe wore down the other defense. We'll see. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll lead here to a third down. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
Cousins now to throw on first down. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down. That pass play wound up for negative yardage, so here's second and 11. Cousins now. Over the middle, that's caught by Taylor. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 42. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
A gain of 6 there on first. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. To throw is Cousins.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Throwing again on second and 10. Cousins. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 17-yard line. Cousins going to come up on a first and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. Throwing on second and 14. Cousins. The reception good for 7. It's third down. From the gun, here's Cousins. And it's caught. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. Here's Cousins. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the fourth. They'll try again on second and goal after going backwards to the 12. Cousins. And that one drops to the ground. Incomplete. Clock stops here just inside of 20 seconds. 19 left. This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. Maybe one final chance here to make this a bit more respectable as he'll go for it on 4th and goal. Now Cousins on 4th down. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left. They can't hook up here on the 4th down pass attempt. And the Eagles defense able to hold. Now Wentz. Gonna look deep for Jeffrey. And that's caught inside the 35. And we will get a timeout with 2 ticks left. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field. He'll take a shot for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it was their defense that led the way, allowing just 3 half.
And remember the old adage, a championship wasn't won, but a game. I mean, when they went out there with that determination and a pretty good game plan, pretty good idea of what they wanted to accomplish, just love the execution, love the tenacity, love the way they finished.
So for the Eagles, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Big D to take on the Cowboys. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, they fall to defeat for the 2nd time this season. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel up to Detroit to take on the Lions. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I... Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team. Now let's take a minute to see how you can improve your team.